Okay. So yesterday we talked about, or you can say in the previous session, we have talked about the window handling. So anybody have any doubt, you can ask me. Otherwise, today I'm going to pick another topic that is called different type of weights in Selenium. So anybody have any doubt?
Yes, sir, I have doubt.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, actually, when we are in some application, we
Yeah.
have to, actually that is in one page, right? One window. When we try to
Okay.
open any, when we click on any link, that should be open in another window. So
Right.
that one I did not understand, sir.
Okay.
And
So
another thing is in the code you are using some for loop, for each loop, right?
right.
Why we are using the for each loop?
Yeah, so let me tell you again this thing, and I know that this is little bit tricky, so I'm going to explain this thing again. Okay, so I have told you about the two ways to handle the window switching. One is by using by title, and one is using by ID. So tell me, you are facing the problem in any one or this one? Like this one is switching by title. So you are talking about this one, or you are talking about this one, handling demo, this one, or you are not getting the point why we are using the loop in both the things.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me first of all come to the point of that switching by handling window by the on the base of ID. So now I will one by one, I will just go through the, you can say, code, and then tell me you are getting or not. Open the browser. This code is for open browser.
Yes, sir.
Yes, say yes or no. So I will come to know that you are getting or not. At any point of you are not getting, you can tell me, Pradeep, I'm not clear on this point. This line, open the browser, enter the URL of the header page. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now in this line, what I have done, I told you we have a function in Selenium that is called driver.getWindowHandle. And what is the purpose of this function? This function actually returns the ID of the current focused window. Getting my point? So if I will say I call this function driver.getWindowHandle, so it will return any ID. It can be any ID. For example, I am taking X, but it can be any ID that I stored in the main window ID variable. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now I've clicked on an element FAQ. Let me show you same thing manually also so that you can understand easily. So this is my website. Where is header.html? Let me open the header.html. So you can see I just open this you can the URL in my browser. Then I click on FAQ. So this code is written here. This code is written here. This is the code to click on FAQ. Getting my point? Now you'll see what is happening. What is happening when I manually click on this FAQ? It is just see, it is opening a new tab. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It is opening a new tab. Now, how many tabs are open in my automation? One header and one is the deep FAQ. Two tabs are there. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so two tabs open, but second tab is open when you have clicked on FAQ link. So I do one thing. I created a variable second window ID. I just you can say created a variable so that I can store the ID of the second window. The ID of the first window is already stored in the variable main window ID. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So now when I have declared a variable second window ID, now the question is that already two windows are open. How we can fetch the ID of all the windows which are still open? So for that thing, there is a function that is called driver.getWindowHandles. It is window handle and it is handles. S is there in the function. So what it returns? It returns a set of string. It returns a set of string that is a collection, and it contains all the IDs of all the open windows. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So suppose take the example, because I've clicked on the FAQ link. So we know that two windows are open. So at runtime, when this code will run, it will return two IDs, right? And one ID, you will see one ID X, that is of the ID of the main window. And here you will contain two IDs, the main window ID as well as second window ID. So now the thing is that you can tell me one thing. This variable, or you can say this set, this collection contains all the open IDs, like two IDs, and main window ID contains the ID of the main window. So can you tell me how you can write a logic to find the ID of the new window? Are you getting my point? You have to find which ID from this collection, all the IDs which are stored in all window variable, in which ID is the ID of the new window. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So I have done one thing. I created a for each loop. In for each loop, what I have done, I have right side, I've taken the collection that is IDs of all window, and just you can say created a variable current ID. Okay. And with the help of this ID, what I'm doing, when this loop will run one by one, all the window ID will be stored in the current ID. First, in the first iteration, first time it will store the ID, first ID, then it will store the second ID. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Now I have just checked one thing. When first time loop will run, I just matching that current ID is matching with the main window ID or not. I'm writing not current ID is not equal to main window ID. So take the example. If the current in the current loop, current ID is storing this value X. And what is the ID of the main window? X.
Yes.
So tell me, this condition will be true or false? False.
False.
Because these are matching. X current ID is matching with the main window ID. So control will not go to in this if block. So now next time when loop will run, the current ID value will be Y.
Y.
So now the thing is that condition is matched. Y is not equal to the X.
X.
So it means current ID, the value of current ID with the value which is hold on current ID, that is actually Y. It's the ID of the second window. So in the second ID variable, I have equal to the ID, or you can say assign the ID of the current ID. So in the second window, which ID will be stored? Y. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So the purpose of this loop to find the ID of the second window. When I got the ID of the second window, then I simply write a code driver.switch to .window and whatever ID you got in this loop. So in this what it will do, when this line will run, the control will go to the new window. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when the control will go to the new window, automatically this code will run because control is on the new window. So when you try to run this code driver.find element, it will try to find the element on the focused window. And currently your control is focused on the second or new window. So it will find the element and will enter in it. Is it okay? Yeah.
That for loop, the first for loop will be run continuously, right? Because it is not main window, so second window, third window, it will be continuously.
No. Because automatically it will run on the basis of number of elements in the collection. Because two windows are open, so automatically it will run only 2 times. Are you getting my point?
Okay.
I told you that is the quality of the for each loop, that right side you provide the collection, like in my case set. So if it contains 2 elements, it contains 3 elements, it contains 4. It will iterate on the base of number of elements.
Okay.
So in my case, it will run 2 times.
2 times.
And yesterday I given you scenario. Suppose after that you want to click on any other link and it is opening a third window. So you have to use the same trick. Just create a third window ID variable. And this time again, you have to call function driver.getWindow handles. This time it will return 3 IDs. So this loop will run how many times? 3 times. Right?
Sir, can you please run this code? Actually, I have some another doubt. After that,
actually, I can run the code, but this code is not applicable. Reason is that I have not clicked on the third link. So I can show you the
second ID.
Yes, so I can show you this code. Okay, then you can tell me okay, let me run this. That is running fine. Let me run this.
So we can do one more thing, na? Means switch to parent window and then again click on that link and then window will open.
Yes. If you want to, you can. In that case, you don't need to write any extra this for loop. Reason is that you have stored the main window ID here. You store the second window ID. After working on the second window ID, maybe you want to go to the first window ID. What you have to do, simply you have to write this code. After working on the question field, maybe you want to go to the first, you can say first window. You will simply write driver.switch to window main window. Because the only logic here you have to write. Why you are writing the for loop? To actually distinguish the IDs of different windows. And when you got the IDs of different windows, at any time, this is single line of code. Let me run it here. Yeah, you are not able to see because the thing is that it quickly go to here, enter and again control back to the first one. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
But you can see here, it has entered the value in the question. Now you can tell me your doubt.
Sir, actually, when we are, for example, if you take an Amazon application, when we click on any link, that should be
Okay.
open in same tab, right? So
No, no,
that link should be open in new tab. So how can we write that code? So
so
that thing
simple.
I am confused.
No, simply what you have to do, simply you are going to do the same thing. Let me take the example, Amazon. Okay, so take the example. I am taking the example of Amazon. Okay, now the thing is that in my case, because I developed this code, so I've you can say directly I've written a code. On click of this, it will open a new tab. In your case, first of all, you will enter this URL. Where? At this place.
Driver.get.
Yes, definitely you are going to write. Second thing, what you have to do, in your case, you have to find a link so that it will open. In my case, actually what is happening, in my case, it is very straightforward because I created this link. In your Amazon, you have to find a particular point. So in that case, you cannot directly find a, you can say product on which you click and it will open a new tab. So you have to select something like that. Simply, I will click on this one, is still opening in the one, that is okay. Then try to go to the some session here, still opening on the same page. So actually you have to find a scenario. Now when I will click on this related item, it will open a new tab. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So actually you have to make in Amazon to reach to this particular condition. You have to click on 2-3 things. Now when you click on this particular another items, it will open a new tab. And then what you have to what you have to do, you have to just, in that case, you have to add, or you can say something, click on this new window. Like take the example, when you click on this, what particular is there, you have to find the text of this element. Are you getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So how you can find the text? Driver dot find element and give the this element XPath and get text. But this is only possible when your control is on this tab. Yes or no? Because this is only available in the new tab, not in this tab. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So you will write a code to click on this one, then you make a control on this second new tab, and then you can extend it. Getting my point?
No,
Say
sir.
yes or no?
No,
So
no.
everybody will do one thing. Everybody, this is an assignment for everybody. And in this way, you are going to help each other. Are you getting my point? Everybody, you have to do one thing. In Amazon, you have to write a code to switch to the new window. Is it okay, everybody?
Yeah.
So everybody will write a code and you have to decide that which product you have to click, and so that it will open it, open the, you can say, detail in a new tab, and then you have to find text, something like that. And you have to ping that code on the WhatsApp so that everybody can see, and whoever is still getting a confusion, they can also learn. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. And still you have a doubt, I will also automate same thing. I will share the code with you. Is it okay?
First, we will try, sir.
Yeah, sure. That is the good thing. And you will see, not only you will try, everybody is going to try in the group. So they will also give the solution, you will try, and then you can discuss also, okay, why you have written this line of code? I'm still confused. So they are going to help. You are going to help each other. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Till the time, let me cover a new topic here, so that because we have a...
And another thing, actually, yesterday I tried one code, but when I'm opening Amazon website, it will open, and when I try to click on some link, it's showing some pop-ups, sir.
So, so if it is showing a pop-up, you can click on that pop-up. I already told you about the pop-up also. Just try, you have to do one thing. Whenever it is showing any pop-up, right click on that button, which is going to close, like close button, OK button. If you are able to inspect that, you can simply use...
And I have to write a code for close.
So no, come again.
Sir, we have to inspect that thing when we get some pop-up. We have to inspect that, and we have to write the expert for closing that link.
Yes, and yes, only two things are there. If you are inspecting that particular element so that you can close it, that is good to go. If you are not able to inspect it, it means you are not getting any inspect option there. It means it is not a web pop-up. It is a Windows pop-up, like alert box. So alert box handling, I've already told you, yes or no? Alert box handling, I have told you, yes or no?
Yes.
In the flow of user creation page. Okay, today I will show you this thing again. Reason is that I'm going to cover a topic that is related to the alert box. So maybe here this thing will be revised. So let me create a new class, and the topic is weights demo. Okay, let me this one public static void main, and where I have written your complete flow, this one. So I'm going to take the help of this one. So let me do one thing. I'm going to write a code. The base code, I'm going to write this one. Entering this one. So let me write this code. I've written the code to open the browser. Now I have to write the code to user registration page. I need user registration page. Let me copy this code. Okay. So what I've done, I open the browser, I enter the user registration page URL. Then I will try to fill some form data like this one. Let me do, copy this one. Oh, let me copy this one. And then we write the code to enter some data here like this one. So we have written the data in the first name field. Then we have to write the data in other. We are trying to complete the user registration page. So this is the middle name, last name, age, marital status. Okay, let me click age also. Let me go to here. This is done. So what else is left in my user registration page? So let me remove this thing. All things are there. We can directly go to this part. This was the code to. This was the code to handle the alert box. Handle the alert box. Yes or no? Okay,
Yes.
before that, you have to click on register button. That is mandatory. So let me do one thing. Let me run these options also so that you will feel, we are just creating the registration page whole. So this is the whole page. So I'm going to, first of all, let me run this thing. Then I will tell you what topic I'm going to tell you. So let me run it. Yeah, it is running fine. Okay, so here you will see one thing. I want to tell you one thing here, that whenever you are clicking on the register button, whenever you click on the register button, what happens? It opens a pop-up. It opens a pop-up. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And it opens a pop-up. Now the thing is that in the real life, what happens when you will click on that? Let me write some name here, some middle name, some age here. And when I click on this register button, when this pop-up will appear, sometime this pop-up will appear in the few seconds, and sometime it will appear in few more time. So the time for appearing this pop-up is not same at every time. Can anyone tell me the reason why the pop-up time, the appearing time of the pop-up is not fixed every time? Can you tell me?
Response is not going
Yeah.
to the database somewhere.
Yes, excellent. You are right. Actually, what happens whenever you are click on the register button? Actually, what happening? All the data which you have filled in your form, that will go to the application. Then application will save that data in the database. And once all the process is completed and response will come success, then this pop-up will appear. Yes or no? So now think about that. If the performance of your application is sometime little bit due to network, due to performance of itself application, if it is little bit slow, this pop-up will come fast. Oh, sorry, a little bit slow, the pop-up will come little bit late. And if the performance is fast, it will come little bit early. Yes or no? Yes or no? Say yes or no.
Yes.
So now what is the problem? Problem is that, just see here, I am going to simulate a scenario where it is taking little bit late. And you will see, in that case, your automation will fail. How? Let me show you. How I can simulate in front of you? I can do one thing. I'm going to comment the code of register button. Are you getting my point? Now tell me, if I'm not clicking on the register button, what happened? After, it will go to find the pop-up and pop-up will not be there. Yes or no?
Yes.
So you will say, I'm going to simulate. Just see here what is happening here. I'm going to simulate. So I want to open the register button little bit late. You will see it has not clicked on the register button, but it is expecting to click on the alert box. That's why your code is failed. Are you able to see? No alert box is present. Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So why I have clicked, why I have commented this thing? So I want to just show this thing, that actually sometime if you have clicked, suppose take the example, you have clicked on register button, but pop-up is taking some time to appear, your next code will run and your test case will fail. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now the thing is that the solution of this problem is that you can add a weight. Like I can do one thing. I have clicked, suppose take the example, I click on that and then I waited. THREAD thread dot sleep. Now I will tell you what is the use of this. When you write thread dot sleep, like suppose 2000 or 5000 milliseconds. Okay. So what will happen? Just see here. What will happen? If I will run this code and you assume that I have clicked on register button. Okay. I've clicked on register button. After that, it will wait for 5000 milliseconds. Then the control will go to the next line. Yes or no? So anybody can tell me the drawback of this using thread.sleep? The thing is that your pop-up is open. Your pop-up is opened or not, but still in every case, it is going to wait for 5000 milliseconds. Yes or no?
Yes.
I'm
Yes,
telling
sir.
you because you have written a particular line after clicking on register button. So clicking register button, pop-up will open or not. In both the cases, it will wait for 5000 seconds. Yes or no? Maybe in the 5000 seconds, millisecond, pop-up is open. Then it is good to go to the next line. Your test case will run fine. But if your pop-up is still not open in the 5000 millisecond, then what will happen? You have wasted the time. Still pop-up is not open. Yes or no?
Yes.
So actually, this is called hard-coded wait. This is called hard-coded wait. So what is happening if you are using any hard-coded wait? Actually, it is not worth. Reason is that you can't be sure that within 5000 seconds, your pop-up will open or not. You can't be make sure. You can't make a guarantee on that. You can't make a surety on that within 5000 seconds, your requirement will be fulfilled. Mean, what is your requirement? Your pop-up should be appear. Yes or no? So this hard-coded wait is not a good approach. Getting my point?
Yes.
So
Yes,
now for this, there is a solution for that. Now for that thing, there is a solution for that. What is called? That solution is known as wait. In Selenium, there is another wait that is called WebDriver wait. That is called WebDriver wait. So two waits are there, Selenium. One is called implicit wait and second is called explicit wait. And explicit wait is also known as WebDriver. So first of all, I will tell you what is implicit wait. Then I will tell you what is explicit wait. Okay. So in application, this is one problem I told you related to the alert box. But this problem is not only stick with the alert box. This problem can be happen with any element. Yes or no? For example, just think about that. You have enter something in the first name field, or you can take the example of itself first name field. When you load or you enter the URL, maybe your application is taking some time to load and you have tried to find this element. And if application is not loaded properly, what will happen? Your first name validation will be failed. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? You have entered the URL, but still the application is loading. And if this code will run driver.find element, it will get the element.
No.
No, it will not get the element. And in that case, this code, because code is not going to stop. Code will enter the URL, directly go to the next line. And when this code will run, it is expecting that first name field should be visible on your browser. If still it is loading, this line of code will fail. And in the same way, it can be happen with any of the element. Yes or no? Maybe your last name is not loaded. Maybe your you can say age is not loaded. So this can be happen with any element. Yes or no? So, and another example of that, sometime you have seen that few applications are really very slow. When you click on the element, first name is loading. After some time, there is some drop down is there, some dynamic element is there. So every time, every element can take some time in the loading. So now the question is that how you can provide the time for that, how you can give them proper time for loading. So one solution is that. What is that? Before finding any element, you can give a hard-coded wait. Thread.sleep. Are you getting my point? Here I've given the 5000 milliseconds. Now same thing I will do before every element. 5000 millisecond for name, 5000 millisecond for middle name, 5000 millisecond. Before every element, we are writing this code. Are you getting my point? What is the purpose? So that when it will stop for this time, maybe your application is loaded properly or your every element will be appear and you can run this code. Yes or no? Are you getting my point? Yes or no?
Yes.
I think only one person is getting. Gulam, Ranjita, Shreya, Shruti, you are not getting.
Getting, sir.
Yes, I got it.
Getting.
Yeah. So the actually now the question is that whenever I can mark this, I can write this line before every element. I can actually giving the time of 5,000 milliseconds. Again, the same problem. We can't say that this element is going to take 5,000 milliseconds enough for this element to load. Or second thing is that it is not the case that I have given the 5,000 millisecond wait, but this element is appearing in the 10 milliseconds. So rest of the time is actually a waste, because this time will be included in the total time of your automation execution run. Yes or no? So
Yes.
so every time if this time is not sufficient, still your test case will fail. That is one problem. If this time is sufficient, but the thing is that element is appearing within the 5 or 10 milliseconds, actually you are trying to pause your automation for 5,000 milliseconds. So the purpose of automation to reduce the time to run test cases, and you are increasing the time. Yes or no? So to get rid of this problem, that for every element, if you want to wait some time, you are doing two things. One is this: for every element, finding every element before the line of that code, you have to write this code, right? So how many times you write this code? If you are in the whole automation, this is very common thing that you are going to find 1,000 elements, because the whole automation is totally depends on driver.find element. So you are going to write this line of code 5,000, or 1,000 for 1,000 element, you are going to write this code 1,000 times. No. Is there any way that still we want to apply this 5,000 wait for every element? Is there any way to implement in single line? Yes. If you still happy to wait for 5,000 milliseconds before finding every element, in that case, there is a way in the Selenium that is called implicit weight. That is called implicit weight. So how implicit weight is, you can say applied driver dot manage dot timeout dot implicit weight. Are you able to see this one? It is taking two parameters, long time and second is time unit. So time is long time is whatever time you want to wait. You want to wait for, suppose, take the example, you want to wait for 5,000. You want to wait for 5,000, and the second parameter is time unit, means time unit dot whatever you want to consider. You want to consider as milliseconds. So now what this line will do? This line is going to help you that if you are writing this line of code thread.sleep before every element, instead of that, if you write this single line of code, what it will do? Every time when the line of code driver.find element will run, automatically it will wait for 5,000 milliseconds. Are you getting my point? Anybody can tell me? Payal, you can tell me what is the use of implicit weight?
So that in every element we don't need to wait for the 5,000 time. We'll manage in one line. So
yes.
that
Yes, excellent, Payal. What is happening that again and again I'm writing a code thread.sleep before every element, and impact is that why we are writing, so that my driver.find element will get sufficient time to load. So if you want to achieve this thing, you can do one thing. You can, in one single line, you can write this thing. What happened after running this line? Before running this code driver.find element, whenever your automation will find that you are trying to find element, it will wait for 5,000 minutes. So you are get rid of writing the same line again and again, but the still second drop. So this is called implicit weight. This is called implicit weight. Implicit weight. So if implicit weight you want to use, you can use it, but it is not recommended. It is not recommended. Already I told you the drawback of that. What is that? You can take the example. I have mentioned the 5,000 millisecond, but do you think that every element need 5,000 millisecond? Few elements need 2 seconds. Few elements need 10 milliseconds. Few elements need 10,000 milliseconds. So some element need more time. Some element need less time. So you are giving a standard time. That is not a recommended, because in some cases it is useful, but in some cases it is waste. And if you will do one thing, Pradeep, I will make a clever decision. I will put this value very, very high. Like suppose, for example, you have written, I will write 50 and in the unit, you will select the seconds. You will say, Pradeep, 60 seconds is enough. Enough for every element. I can make sure that every element will not take more than 60 seconds. So in the 50 seconds, in this way, you have applied the time. But now tell me again, few elements are taking only 1 second. For those elements, you are taking extra time of 49 seconds. Yes or no?
Yes.
So actually, anyway, if you try to make it stable, you will try to give the more time, bigger time, high time, it will, execution time will be increased. So that's why in any case, this weight is not recommended. Now the question is that if this weight is not recommended, what is the another weight? Another weight is actually called explicit weight. So now what is explicit weight? You can also understand the explicit weight by the requirement. Tell me one thing. I told you that every element can load in different time. Every element can load in different time. So tell me, I should give the time on the basis of hard-coded value of the time, or I should give the time on the basis of the condition that element should get proper time to load. Till the time is element is not loaded, till the time element is visible, not my screen, till the time element is not properly clickable, we have to wait till that time. Yes or no? It doesn't matter it is 5 seconds or it is 10 seconds. So actually my waiting time should be depend on the condition, not on the some hard-coded time. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is the role of the explicit weight. So how explicit weight is defined? Let me show in the case of alert. This is the best example. Explicit weight is defined in this way. Weight, for that we have a class that is called weight, or we can say WebDriver weight. WebDriver weight. There is a class that is called WebDriver weight. I'm creating a weight reference variable and then new WebDriver weight. Now you say this WebDriver weight is taking 2 parameters. The first one, I will suggest don't use the first one because you will not understand. It is little bit, you can say complex to you. The second one is very, very easy. WebDriver weight, 2 parameters. It is taking WebDriver weight and time in long in seconds. So it is very easy. You have created the reference of WebDriver weight where you are passing driver, and here you can pass the time in the second. So here I will do 60 seconds. It will wait for 60 seconds. Now it is not waiting. Till now you have seen I created a reference variable, but what it will do, we have just created a condition. We have just created a configuration. It is just like a configuration that weight reference. Wherever you will use the weight reference, it will wait for 60 seconds, but 60 maximum seconds. Getting my point?
Yes.
So now this is, I have not applied anywhere. This is not going to be a general, which is going to applied on every element. And still till the time it is not applied on any particular element. It is just like a configuration. It is just like a configuration, which is telling that whenever you want to use a max wait time of 60 seconds, you can use this weight reference. Now, how it is beneficial, you will see this weight reference you can use in any your programming for this purpose. Like just see here, wait dot until. And everybody know the meaning of until in English? Till the time condition is not satisfied. And you can give several conditions. Wait dot until, and within until you can give some condition. And for that condition, you have a class that is called expected conditions. There is a called expected conditions. So in the until function, you can pass any expected condition and it will wait till the time the expected condition is not fulfilled. So the topmost function, you can tell me what is the first function? Alert is present.
Alert is present.
And I will show you what is the benefit of that. Now the benefit is that if I'm going to call this function wait dot until alert is present. Now you know the beauty of this function. The beauty of this function is that you have configured a explicit wait for the 60, but 60 is the max time. 60 is the max time. Then when it will execute this line of code, if the alert is present in the 1 second, it is not going to wait for another 59 seconds. Getting my point?
Yes.
So the benefit is that if it is not appearing in the, if it is not appearing in the 1 second, it will wait for second, third second, 4 second. And any time, if it is appear between your 0 second to 60 second, it will actually click on the element and proceed to the next code. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So it is something like
Yes,
that.
sir.
It is something like that. I can take the very, very good example. Suppose take the example. You have called a friend in your city, and he said that, okay, I will reach to the airport and you have to wait for me. Now you have two conditions. Okay, take the example of Payal. Payal said, I will wait there, but definitely you are going to wait for your friend, but you will give a max time. Yes or no? You are going to do this thing. You will reach to the airport in the morning and you are going to wait till the night. It is possible? It is possible? No.
No.
You will simply do one thing. Payal will say, Shruti, I will wait at the airport and I'm going to wait for maximum 5 hours. If you will reach within the 5 hours, that is okay. Otherwise, I will quit from there. Yes or no? Fair enough?
Yes.
But now the thing is that in that case, two conditions are there. Implicit weight says that if the Shruti reaches to the airport, Payal is still saying, no, I have given the time of 5 hours. So you are still here, but we will quit from here after 5 hours. We have both of us have to stay on the airport till the 5 hours. That is not fair enough. Are you getting my point? That is called hard-coded wait. Second condition, Payal told, maximum I will wait for 5 hours. But if you will reach within 1 hour, after 1 hour, we will quit from the airport. Are you getting my point? So you are just saving the time of rest 4 hours. Yes or no?
Yes.
So
Yes.
here web driver wait is something like that. This 60 second, you are telling that, okay, I have to wait maximum 60 seconds. But if my condition will be fulfilled before that, you can proceed. So you will see, again, I'm going to simulate the same scenario. Just see how. This is the register button. I have not clicked the code of clicking on it. Yes or no? Yes or no? Say
Yes.
yes or no. I
Yes, sir.
have not clicked this button. Yeah, you guys don't focus. Just click on this register button, click. This function I have already commented. Let me write again and let me comment it. Now this is commented, yes or no? Now you can assume this. Okay, I have clicked on this button, but pop-up is not appearing. So it will not go to the next line. And you can see in the console that it will not throw the exception within 1 second. It will wait for 60 milliseconds. Let me run it. You can see here, I'm just showing you the console, just scrolling it. Are you able to see any error in the console? You can see still program is running. This red color is there. Yes or no? Shruti, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
You can see program is still running because the thing is that it is waiting for pop-up to appear. 60 seconds it will wait. 60 seconds it will wait. Just see the code line here. 60 seconds it will wait till the time the control will not go to the line number 50. And after 60 seconds, because max time is completed, the control will go to the next line number 50, and it will not find the pop-up and your test case will
Fail.
Getting my point, yes or no?
Yes.
That's why you are able to see it is not giving any error. And you will see when the now 60 seconds are completed. Are you able to see the error now? Alert box is not there. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Now I will simulate same scenario. This time I will do one thing. I have not clicked the register button here, but manually I will click on that so that I can assume that it appear suddenly. Let me run it. And you will see that time it is not going to wait. Let me show you that interesting thing. You are able to see the error, yes or no? No error. It will waiting. I click on register button. Just see what will happen. It suddenly when I click on register button, it pop-up is opened and your test case is proceed. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So actually why I do this thing? Because I cannot simulate the scenario that how the pop-up will open in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. So I made this thing for simulation. I simply click on it. And after that, what happened? you have to assume that I've clicked on it, but still the pop-up is not there. So it was waiting. But before that, I click on it so that I can simulate the scenario that suddenly pop-up is come and it found the pop-up, and do not wait for the next line. Simply go to the next line. You want to see? Just again see here. Again see here. I'm going to wait a little bit more and then I will click on that and you will see the pop-up will close. You will say, I'm waiting this time, this time, this time, this time, this time. Simply click on register. Your code is run, yes or no? So
Yes.
this is called explicit weight. The beauty of the explicit weight is that explicit weight is totally dependent on the condition. Definitely you have to give the maximum time. Somebody will ask me, Pradeep, it is totally dependent on, you can say a condition, why you are giving the max time. In that case, in every case, you have to give a max time. Yes or no? Suppose take the example. In real scenario, there is a bug that alert pop-up is not appearing and you have given the max time of 1 hour. Suppose. So what will happen? Bug is there, but still your automation is waiting for 1 hour because it is expecting that we should wait. Yes or no?
Yes.
But in my case, what is the benefit? If you are writing here that WebDriver wait to the 1 day also, but if your pop-up is appear in the 1 second, it is not going to wait for 23 hours and 59 minutes. Yes or no? This is the beauty. But this is also fair enough thing. Nobody is going to use 1 day wait in the automation. Yes or no? So this, otherwise your application itself have a bug. If you are writing this code that I should wait an element for the 5 or 10 minutes, it means your application have a performance bug. You are write this code so that you can manage within seconds. Yes or no? You can think about that. Who is going to wait for the login? If login is not working properly, it is taking 10 minutes. Do you think you are going to use that application for your shopping? No. You will say that, okay, if the problem is in the Flipkart that it is taking too much time in the login, you will say it is better to shopping from the Amazon. It is not giving the discount, at least not bothering us. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so this is called explicit weight and it is also known as web weight. Now I have given you the condition for alert box, but it contains condition for every situation, for every element. This was the condition for alert, but you will see it is providing condition in every scenario. Like sometimes what happens, you have seen the application is loading. Application is loaded, you are able to see the particular option is there, like radio button is appearing there, but it is not in the state of clickable. Because clickable means the whole code of the application should be loaded. Yes or no? Have you seen sometime that application is loading and you are able to see a few images, but still appear page is loading, refreshing something? Yes or no?
Yes.
So what is the same? Suppose take the example. You are able to see that radio button is appearing in front of you, but it is not ready to load properly. So what will happen? When you click on it, you are able, it will find the element, but it is not clickable because for clickable, it should load the proper page. Yes or no? So in that case, your condition is not that element should be present. Your condition should be element should be clickable. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. If somebody is not talking, please be on mute. I am able to listen some voice of the utensils. Okay. So now let me come here. So in this way, you can say so many weights conditions are there. Let me show you. Are able to see elements to be clickable. Elements to be clickable. Elements to be selected. Sometimes what happens, you have a checkbox. You are able to see that checkbox is appearing in the screen. So your element will find, but when you will try to click on that, it will not clickable. It will not select because I told you the component is appearing, but it need proper loading of that code so that it can interact with your application. Getting my point? So condition can be element is present means element is visible. But if the element is not loaded properly, you can see the element, but you can click on. You cannot click on that. So many conditions are there. Element to be clickable. You can see sometimes element is not visible. Yes or no? You want to see something. What happens that I will take the example. Sometimes you have seen such type of UI where you select some value from the drop down, then a new element appears. Yes or no? For example, you have to select a drop down. If it's saying that enter your date of birth or enter your age, two options are there. When you select the value drop down date of birth, it will show you the calendar. Yes or no? And if you select the value from the drop down, age, so it will show you a text field where you can enter the age in years. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So when you select on date of birth, when you select the value from the drop down, date of birth, then an element will be visible like calendar, so that you can select. If you are selecting the age, then it will show that runtime, it will show a text field so that you can enter the age. So these two elements are only, you can work on that if that element are visible on your screen. You select the value drop down from the drop down date of birth, but element is still not visible. It is taking time. Your test case will fail if you are trying to enter some value. So in that case, this is very, very good option. Invisibility of, or you can say there is a function that is called visibility. So many things are there. Presence of element. Any element which is present on your DOM or not. It is visible, that is okay. It is visible or not, that is okay. But it should be present. Something like that. In few scenario, there are some hidden fields. And in the automation, you want to work on that hidden fields. You can check the element is present or not. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So several conditions are, sometime you want to wait for a dynamic element is there. I will give the scenario that text should be present on your element. For example, in my case, can you tell me when I'm adding this record XYZ, this XYZ will appear in my list, this list, just see here. It is appearing in the list, yes or no? Yes or no? You can see
Yes,
a
yes,
record. If I'm going to add shares, HSHREYS, shares. So you'll see when I click on that, shares record is added here. Yes or no? Now you
Yes,
want,
sir.
now you want to check that this element is present on my, when I'm clicking, when I'm adding the record, this record is added on my list, table list or not. So you can check that till the time this text is not appeared. You can wait till the time after register. You are going to wait till the time this text is not appeared on your table. So there is also a condition for that. And that is called this one. Text matches, text to be present. Okay, same time you are loading a page. Suppose you have clicked on a tab. In our case, we have clicked on a tab. In the header, we clicked on a link, FAQ. You clicked on a FAQ link, yes or no? You clicked on a FAQ
Yes,
link
Yes.
and it opened a new tab. You want to
Yes.
wait. You have switched your control to the new tab. But now tell me how you can verify that you are on a proper page, on a proper tab. You are totally depend on the title, but the title is not loaded properly. What will happen? Your test case will fail because you are switching on the window on the basis of title, but title is not loaded. So you have to wait there till the time title is not contains. So what it will do? It will wait for the proper time. Okay, title will loaded. Then it will check the title is there. Then it will proceed to the next line. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
So many, you can say, conditions are there, but mainly I have seen that people 99% use the condition for alert box, because alert box is the condition that is totally dynamic. We can't say that when the pop-up alert will open, because it will go to the application, then we'll check something, then we'll save something in the database, then come back to the application. So we do not know how much time it will take. So basically, WebDriver is wait for pop-ups. Is it okay? But you can try other things also if you want. You can try other things also.
Yes.
Getting my point? Okay. So in the interview, somebody asks you what is the explicit weight, what is the implicit weight? Can you define implicit? What is the drawback of implicit weight? Implicit weight is going to be weight till the time it is mentioned. It doesn't matter your element is visible or not, but it is going to wait for the whole time. Only the benefit is that you don't need to write that weight every time, just like thread.sleep, but still that weight is not recommended. The best weight is explicit weight, that is called web, because it contains the max time. But if your condition, whatever condition you have defined in the until, if that condition is satisfied, it is not going to wait for another movement. The control will go to the next line. Getting my point?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So this is the thing. So now I will say this thing, that please revise the things. I'm not going to cover so many things because you have a lot of things to revise. And I'm again saying that please revise the things. When you revise the thing, then only you can understand the concept of framework. Because in the framework, I'm not going to write these things again. Okay, in the frame, what do you mean by framework? Framework means how you are going to manage your code, how you are going to put your code in the systematic way. That is called framework. Working in a frame. where we learned in the framework, we learned that where you should write your code, in which Java file you should write which code, in which place you should write the configuration file. That is called framework. We are not going to learn same topics again. Getting my point? So if you'll revise with me at that time of creating the framework, you will be easily understand. My expectation is fair enough or not?
Fair enough, sir.
Fair enough. Okay, so we'll do one thing. Please revise the things. I'm not going to cover other topics. We are very, very on track. Okay, don't worry. We will complete the course on time. So I will advise, please revise the things. And in the next session, we will discuss for few more good topics, like how to take the screenshot. Okay. So I'm binding the session. If anybody have any question, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'm binding the session. Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye.